4 months. 4 months we've waited. 4 months we worked. And 4 months we finally resumed broadcasting, everyone. Howdy, howdy, everyone. Welcome to Battle with Bronies as we begin anew here on our new home of Cinema Equestria. So glad you could join us. I know it's, wow, been quite a ride for everyone. Not just us, but I think you guys as well. I'm excited. You excited? Let's get this show on the road. And I forgot my water glass. Well, oh well. I got lots of stuff to talk about, and yet I don't have that much either. But let's not waste any more time. I'm just going to start off with a quick one. Legends of Equestria, that big game that's out there, is announcing an open server date in August. I thought, yeah, I'm going to start covering some of this stuff now as well. Quote, "We at Legends of Equestria are excited to announce another open server weekend for August 8th through the 10th." End quote. So if you're into this stuff, feel free to check this out. I'm thinking about it. I really am. This looks like something I should be looking into. But, yeah, check it out if that stuff interests you. And, Ben, yes, I'm aware I forgot to note that in the chat. Forgive me for that. If you would fix that, please. Anyway, I'm getting the little stuff done with first before we move on to the bigger stuff. PonyCons, for all of you Apple, especially iPhone, iPod touchers, and all that fun junk, for the guys those of us who use that. Did you see this app that's out now? Be gone with thee. Anyway, the point is, quote, "There are dozens of pony conventions all over the world. Keep track of them easily with the free PonyCons app so you can attend one and experience the magic of friendship." I haven't downloaded it yet. There's a reason for that. But the point is if you want to keep track of pony conventions and all the stuff that they have to offer, like who's going and other things like the vendors and the artist alley and all that fun jazz, check this out. I promise you won't, you'll like it. And now I remember what I was going to do. Forgot to move that over. Oh well. Anyway, let's see, I got it. Yep. So, check that out. Now, this is something that started about a month ago, a little less than that. And I'm going to start highlighting some of these because I think they're worth it. Not only because he's an inner staff member, but I think they're just worth it in general. Our very own Twilight is Magic has been starting up these artist interviews on Equestria Daily. I won't get into too much. I will let him say that. But I do want to promote his article here. This is his second one. He interviewed KP Shadow Squirrel. Check it out, read it, like it, and tell him I sent you. If even he's already aware of it by doing this. Anyway, check it out. And I have 2 bits of comic news for us, and then we'll move on to the meat and bones of this stuff. Wow, I said 20 people and I hit the dot. I like that. Big one in the news this week. Friends Forever number 6 is out. So yes, Matt, you don't have to find it and link it. Anyway, Friends Forever number 6. Trixie, it's the Friends Forever series. If you haven't read this yet, why? Is about pairing two unlikely beings together. Not only just a personality standpoint, but a circumstantial standpoint. That is, maybe they just aren't like number 2 paired Discord and the Cutie Mark Crusaders together. So you get some really fun stories out of these. Anyway, this one's on Trixie and Rainbow Dash. Check them out. They are a blast. I recommend 2, 3... Let's see, what was 4? I can definitely recommend 2 and 3. I can remember them. Anyway, and this one's a little bit of a smaller, even smaller piece than that. Got a blip from EQD, this Halloween Comic Fest number 2014. Here's the website with the official release, and I'll try and someone try and remember me in particular to when we get closer to Halloween, remind me of this, guys, and I'll try and remember the week beforehand. But it might be a little hard to see, so I'll read it here. Quote. Available for free from most comic shops on Halloween, October 25th. End quote. I'm guessing more information will come of this as we get closer to Halloween. But the point of it is that in most comic shops, and I'm going to guess online formats as well, like Comixology, there will be... This specific issue, Friends Forever number 2, will be for free. And I'm going to, like I said, pick this one up. It's a good one. There's one panel in particular that just kills me, and it involves Discord. I know it's pretty vague, but it's towards the end. Anyone who's read it knows exactly what I'm referring to. And don't spoil it. It's a darn good scene. All right. Art or one video first? That good question, Matt. I'm not sure. None of the articles said if it was strictly America or not. So, like I said, I'm guessing more details will develop, and I'll try and I'll keep my ear to the track for that. 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6. 6-1 so far. Two? Oh, don't worry, Matt. That will be coming. Well, I'm going to call it here, guys. 6-2 art. We're going with the art first, and that's probably the better choice as well. For those of you wondering, some of these comics are old. They're really old, but they came after we left Brony State, and I thought I need to cover these because they're part of a series. And in order to prevent a lot of flooding, I tried to make sure that I tried to be pretty conservative, but surprisingly enough, I'm spreading them out over the next couple episodes. And even there, so it wasn't that bad. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing on my behalf. Anyway, the point is I have a ton of comics. So if you really enjoy my terrible voice acting, this is your episode. Doot. Who do I want to bring up first? Someone in the audience, that's for sure. How about... I don't think I have ever done this person first. So let's do it. This first one is titled Rainbow Rocks by Colt Steel Stallion. And by the way, of course, the usual questions, Colt. What? Give us some background details on this before we get started, or not before we get started, as we get going. Because by the time I finish up, you'll have it all written out and such. Let's see. Trying to picture, getting character. Twilight, have you heard? Rainbow Rocks is finally out. No way. That was terrible. Want to check it out? Would I? Yes, I love this punchline just because it falls under... It's so obvious, but there it is. All right, as I said, Colt, what do you have to say about this? Sometimes the simplest answers are the best answers. Maud Bay, I love that. Here is the sauce. And let us move on. Yes, I am happy that I do randomize this stuff. It makes things a little bit more, even more interesting still on my behalf. And I don't see him here. It's okay. I'm just trying to think, do I want to do another comic or should I do a still image? I think I'll do another comic, and I'll bring up... Actually, none of those are stills. Let me check one quick thing. See if he is indeed on. Alright, so then I'll go with this one instead. This one is by Frosty Cat number 13. Well, Frosty Cat 13, titled Cadence Gets a Makeover, page 7. When we last left off with this one, actually, we can kind of start right here. When we last left off with this one, I need to set a bit of a background for you. Let's see. Twilight just gave Cadence a makeover, and Cadence was not pleased with the results. Buffer, or the drop frames was at 300. And I forgot to sign out of... Boy, I'm really dropping the ball today. But anyway, enough of my stupid delays. Let's go.
You're lying! And the only reason you would lie is if you don't like it. Why didn't you tell me you hated it? Now, Twilight, hate is such a strong word. But you do hate it, don't you? So it's accurate.
Lay downstairs. What in Equestria is all that noise? Now what seems to be the problem? Now, what seems to be the problem? Sorry, I misread the order there. What seems to be the problem here?
Shining, you're home!
Hey, Shining. Cadence? There's the link. Stick around for the next episode for part 8. Trust me, part 8's pretty good. And with that, All right. So you got that. And why don't I bring him on? Up there.
Oh,
Hello.
man. Oh boy. That caught me off guard. Okay.
I bet. Anyway, I have up here Ready or Not and Just Getting Started. Which one do you want to go with, Tox?
The one that is the OC one.
Okay. Folks, this one is titled Ready or Not. It's a collaboration. I'll explain some of the details here. Or actually, do you want to explain them?
Well, basically, the OC one, which I think is the one that you're having right now first.
Yep.
Although if it seems to want to load, which unless my Ustream seems to be frozen. Oh no, there it is. Okay, so there, that thing was actually something that I got approached by Vest, and it was one of his good friends, Curran, actually told me about, like, hey, did you want to do this thing? He's interested in a DBZ pony.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to do the line art, and Vest was going to do the coloration. So basically, what you see there in that line art is all my own line art.
Nice. I think it looks really nice.
It looks good, but Vest is like, literally did like probably 95% of that whole picture. I didn't do anything else besides the line art.
Did you do the pony in the background or just the pony?
No, just the foreground pony. That's the only thing. I didn't even know there was a background pony, to tell you the truth.
I'll give credit to Vest here really quickly, but do you have anything to say about this otherwise?
No, except I would say literally 95% of that picture is Vest. I got permission from him and Curran to post it, though. This is Vest's other stuff right now to work on.
That is his Vest's link to his DA page, folks. Follow him, support him. Do it now, thank me later.
Yeah. But that's what happens when you can really collab between the two of us. But again,
True.
It's more so. Vest could easily have done that, no problem.
Still, I think it was pretty neat.
It was cool. Yeah, it was cool. So it was neat to see like what the two of us can do.
Shall we move on to the other one then?
Yes. Something that's more in my style.
This next one is titled Just Getting Started, and how appropriate given what you have been saying about your DBZ Pony reboot, your series reboot.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, this one was for basically, here's the thing. With all the DBZ ponies I do, Twilight is the only one that I actually have to give a certain attack to. She's the only one I've ever only said she has to have the Kamehameha for obvious reasons, since she's, in my eyes, the strongest character in the show, and so I decided to give the more classic attack to that.
Given what we've seen in the finale.
Yeah, and the thing is, I've been wanting to redo the original one for a while now, and I decided to come up with that one, and still putting a lot of foreground rocks in it.
Nice.
But yeah, this one was definitely one of the more trickier ones I've had to do. It was the only thing that stinks about like trying to do a picture that I know I have to do a certain attack on, like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the freedom as I do with the other ones.
Sure, I can understand.
But I'm pretty satisfied with that. It was definitely one of the more annoying pictures I've had to do. There was a lot of corrections I had to do last second on just Twilight herself. But I was definitely pleased with that, and I'm very intrigued to see what that looks like as a print.
Speaking of which, are you going to be selling these at conventions?
Of course. Oh yeah, of course. All the DVD ones I've sold at prints and online, but I don't want to really promote that too much.
All right. Do you have anything else to say about this or anything, Tox?
I'm working on a comic this week, and the next DBZ set, because I'm going in order with them, is Fluttershy. So I got to redo Fluttershy now.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna be good.
All right.
But
Well,
that's all I got. I don't know. I don't know if there was anything else you wanted to add, or anybody else.
not that I can think of. Not right now, anyway.
hmm But
Vest is currently not here, and I'm guessing he's busy with something or something. Anyway, let's end the call and carry on with the show,
Okay.
shall we? Let's enjoy
All
the
right.
goodness.
Yes. All right. I'll still be in the chat. I'm gonna do it.
Sounds good. Later,
Yep. All
Tox.
right. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Toxic Mario. All right. I do want to get to Muffinshire, but first I want to do a new person, someone who's new to our a new artist on Babble with Bronies. I saw this one. Oh, I should probably get rid of this too. Oh, I remember where I saw this. It's a cosplay. I don't remember where I saw this. If it was in a DA group or something. But anyway, this one is by someone known as Rosie Posey, titled Her Royal Highness Princess Celestia. Check this out, folks. This is the stuff I love to see, not only in my DA inbox, but in person. No, I haven't met her in person. I was meaning at a convention. I went to a convention a couple weeks ago, and I saw some really good cosplays. If you want want some photos of some, I have them. But anyway, focusing back on Rosie Posey here. This I love because of the dedication. This is doing cosplay right, people. This is how you do it. You dedicate it, you bring the fine details in, and, well, do I really need to say any more about this, folks? I try and steer the conversation to praising this, and you guys are going off on an over 9,000 line. Oh, how typical. Anyway, Rosie Posey asked me to credit the photographer as well. So here is the link to this picture. Check her gallery out, folks. You will not be disappointed. I promise you that. She also has a few other photos. You can kind of see them on the side here of the picture. But she does have a few other pony cosplays. But anyway, check her out. Subscribe, or watch her in this case. Thank me later. And as I said earlier, Rosie asked me to credit the photographer as well. Here is a link to the said photographer's website. If I were you, I would also check this out because Zona has an ongoing series of pony cosplay and other pony-related photos as some big, huge photography project. Check out the site. You won't be disappointed with that either. Some of the collections some people had were pretty darn impressive, especially considering the plushie collections. Anyway, Rosie, before I forget, do you have anything to say personally about this? I know I've been kind of babbling here, but so forgive me for that. But do you have anything to say? We're only 26 minutes into this. I do find that a bit shocking, folks. But anyway. You're welcome. Let's see, I did. Credit. All right. Time flies when you pony. Indeed. All right, let us move on. Definitely got to go with a comic, and I'm not going to put it off any longer. I said Muffinshire, you'll get Muffinshire. Twilight's First Day, number 17. Now, I'm going to, I don't know if he wants to participate or not, so I will give him one last warning. Muffinshire, if you want to participate, I'll be ready. If not, just say go on, and I'll go on. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Yellow.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us? Well.
Yes, I can hear you. Well, I can. Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to do this?
Yes. Yeah. It's been a while, so.
No kidding. Let's see. We have what was the Griffin's name again?
Gisela.
Gisela, Celestia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
shall
so
I take?
That's it.
Yeah, there's just two speaking roles in this one. So shall I take Gisela and you,
good.
Celestia?
She's right around my breaking point, so bear with me here.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Ready.
You sure you don't want to keep it?
Bloody internet problems. Muffinshire, are you there?
And let's never say another word about this to anyone. Now, come along, young lady, and I hope you're fast with a quill. I'm not giving my whole speech from the start again.
I like the incorporation of the what's her name from the Celestia micro comic.
Inkwell.
Inkwell, yes, that's it.
Funnily enough, I tweeted a preview picture of one of those panels, and the writer of that issue, I think it was Georgia Ball, retweeted it. So,
holy cow, man!
Yes, the writer actually came up with her as seeing me sort of put her character as a little cameo in my comic. So that was quite exciting.
All right, I got my line to write here, or speak.
Oh, that was great. I don't know if I could have pulled that off as well as you just did.
Thank you. Trust me, just wait. Give me an evil laugh and then come back to me.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else you want to say about this while we're here?
Nothing much to add. I mean, the series is ongoing. There's another part, I think you mentioned you're probably going to save that for the next show. Yep. I'm working on part 19 right now. Just in sketch, it's in sketch stage at the moment, but that should be ready Well, who knows? I don't have as much free time as I used to these days, but
Join the club.
exactly, yeah.
All right. There's the link, and yeah, see you next week for part 18.
Thanks very much.
No problem, man. I enjoy showing
Nice to
this
see you
stuff.
back on the air.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Muffinshire. Join us again next week as we show Twilight's First Day number 18. And we will, of course, continue this. No, I'm not doing an evil laugh, damn it. We will be showing his series continuously. And I knew, if I did not show that one, folks, I knew, if not him, you guys would have come back and said, why didn't you show that one? So, yeah. Anyway, moving past that. And yeah, that's one of the fun things I love doing about this, is when I get to do silly stuff like that. Comic, picture, comic. I'm going to do a still, because we have quite a number of stills, and I do, of course, want to end on a comic. Plus, I think I have everyone who is here. So, anyway, this one's another new person that I found by, I think it was by random chance, but I'm glad I found him. I can't wait to see this guy produce some more, if he does, of course. Wandreviera, 1994. Wandreviera, 1994. Man, if I'm pronouncing this wrong, forgive me, but this one's titled Stop the Bats. You can kind of see why I wanted to put this one in here. This one was more of a test between Paint Tool Sai and Photoshop. I chose the Photoshop one because the Photoshop one has better contrast and better lighting. Just slightly. It just feels a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Take care, Rosie Posey. This one has, how do I want to put it? Better contrast and better lighting. But I picked this one, of course, because of the, because I enjoyed the idea behind it. Kind of a vampire take with the whole bats thing. Sure, it's been done before, but I don't care. I like this one. Fluttervania. Yes, yes. All right, let's move on. Oh, who do I want to? Nope. Okay, here's one. This one is titled Twilight Visits the Sky by BwB. Not hard to see why this one went in here, of course. Quote, a collaboration between myself and Who's Sai. I'll be linking to his profile here shortly. Based on Yellowstone's famous waterfall. End quote. That's one of the better things that he, or they, I'll say, did that I like the most about this, is the fact that it takes place during sunset. I would say he could have done this, of course, during midday or night. But I think why sunset sunrise works so well is it gives it that orange little tone to it that I think adds an extra sense of beauty to this. There is the link to the image. And there is Husai's, very funny, J.E. Smith, but there's Husai's DeviantArt profile. Good point, Matt the Shadow Man. I like that. All right, let us carry on. Let us tomato on. All right, we've got how many of these? Oh, these comics are just so good that I don't know which one to show first. Husai. If people were to actually give me pronunciation guidelines, I would like that. Okay, let's go with this one. This next one is another new person. I got a lot of them this week, in the art department anyway. Titled, Who Ate the Cake by Chris Dillette. Incoming more terrible voice acting. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, play the Dragnet theme song to this, folks.
Luna, you are here because some pony ate my strawberry chocolate dream cake, and I think that some pony is... you! Ah! It wasn't me, I swear! It was her! Oh, brother.
Yeah, you can imagine why this one was put in. I'm just going to say this right now. Philly or full cadence is bloody adorable. That's part of the reason why this is in here, folks. It's all because that they incorporated full cadence like this. No, it is brother they put in there, consulin. And yeah, oh brother does... I don't know if this is more an Americanized thing or what, but yeah, sometimes people will say oh brother as a show of grief. Another thing that I do like about this comic is the whole premise. Celestia would, not only in the show, but in this comic, of course, go to the lengths of setting up an interview or an interrogation room in all over a piece of cake being stolen. Can't say I blame her. I would too. Cop Lestia. I like that. Yeah, no kidding, Mr. Ben. I don't blame you there. Anyway, let's move on. Now, I'll save those for a little bit later. Huh. Well, I'll be darned. We only have 2 comics and a couple more stills left. So I'm going to get the stills done. I like saving comics for the end, beginning and end. This one's titled Twilight Against Hydra by Zilvart. You probably saw this one. You guys probably saw this one out throughout the week, but what's the word I'm looking for? But I wanted to put this one in because it deserves highlight. Quote, Twilight is our only hope to stop the evil Hydra in a cave underneath Ponyville. It was told that it would awake and once again attempt to conquer Equestria in darkness and despair. However, Twi won't allow it, so we will see how this turns out. For she, I'm sure, she will find a way. End quote. I like what he did with this Hydra here. He probably could have gone with the show accurate, or not even show accurate in so much as stayed with the more cartoony vibe that the show gives off. But this one, he went with the more dragon-like design. And in this case, it really works given the tone and coloring that he's given this picture. It's a bit more darker, a bit more serious. And I like that. The eye highlights are a nice touch, along with the fog, gas, whatever that is. Clips. I like that. I think you're right there, Twilight is Magic. It just wouldn't be the same. Of course, we have seen that somewhat before. Harwick's Arts, Shield versus Hydra, Equestria Edition. Look it up and you'll see what I mean. There's that, and moving on. Okay, let's go with this one. This one's on the funnier side, folks. This one is titled The Grace of a Princess by Anna Dune Kuhn. I'm just going to kind of let this one speak for itself. And all right. Nom nom nom. Nom. Ah, so feeling. No, that was I know that was a slightly terrible heavy, but I don't care. I like this style myself. The hair in particular, the sparkles, the wave, it's very hair-like, but it still retains a lot of that show style wave to it. Very good. I just love this premise myself as well. Should be back up, Ustream. Okay, very good. I wouldn't worry about it, Alicorn, Texas boy. I already said what I needed to say. Let's see here. Okay, we'll go with this one. This one's titled End of a Golden Age by Assassin Monkey. Kind of wish he was here, but oh well. I'll see if I can... Nope, not going to. Let's see. Quote, I think this is the closest they could get to killing a character, and they did so magnificently. I still feel it. One of the most impactful parts, I think so. So I just had to make it somehow. Wasn't whether to sure to go with the aftermath or in action. Thought I'd go with what might give the more interesting results, so here we go. End quote. I'm definitely glad you went with the Enmadius Ray aspect, Assassin Monkey. Doing it in action like this was a much better take. And part of the reason is because, look at it! It looks awesome! Amazing! And second, I don't think many people have done it in the middle of the action. They've done it post, but not in the middle of it like this. That right there, Twilight is magic. I'm going to say that. Quote, you know when the production team is boss when they make a fucking tree matter. End quote. Matt, you never honk with Twilight's books. Patience, Mr. Ben, patience. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to call it There's Your Clip Show. For those, never mind. Anyway. Tree totally shot first. Honk! That one was just for fun. He is here. I don't see him in the audience anywhere. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll take your word for it, and probably have to carry on though. Twilight Cannon at the ready. I thought so. Yeah, I say I know who I Am Not is. Anyway, moving on. Am I sure that? Yes, I am. Now, these next two are a part of a running series, How XU, or is it How Caillou? I'm not sure. Anyway, Chrysalis's Fluttered Adventure. We started this series shortly before, and he's finally kicked the production into gear here. He's currently up to like part 7 or 8, something like that anyway. Anyway, when we last left off, this was a continuation of his series on the Villain Reformation program. What he did was he did a very Discord-style reformation of a character. And in one instance, Chrysalis's instance in this case, on the prequel, the quote-unquote prequel, he gave Chrysalis a big a heart as Fluttershy and assigned her to a family. There's a colt and a filly that Chrysalis, disguised, takes care of. Now, he went and made an entire series on it. When we last left off from them here, they had just been assigned, and I think now the plot's really moving forward. So anyway, let's get started. I never said I was showing any of your pics, I am not. I just said we were back on air. If I was showing your pics, I would have specifically mentioned which ones. Anyway. Oh! Would, Mr. Ben, would you kindly slap J.E. Smith for me, please? Now I'm getting it.
It all happened a few minutes ago, when Discord and I were spending a lovely afternoon. Does it taste good? Mommy made it with love.
Don't feed him too much love, Fluttershy, or he will be fat. Terrible Discord. I'll work on that.
Don't worry. Our little angel is not a changeling. Come to think of it, Chrysalis has been in Ponyville for almost a month, yet I still feel that she's so distant from us. I hope we can know each other a little better.
Agreed, Twilight is magic. Oh, how about I arrange a trip for you two? It'll be fun.
Then I just ended up here. I don't know why, though. Don't you think that sounds very Don't you think that sounds very suspicious?
I cannot do Chrysalis. I'm sorry, folks.
I believe Discard was just arranging a pleasant trip for us. He has proven more than once that he can't be trusted. Are you so sure? But look, he also prepared some travel bags for us. For real! Oh, there are food, water, sleeping bags, and other supplies enough to get us through the night. Enough for us to spend the night.
Sorry.
Look, he has left something. Looks like he has left everything we need in the bag.
Wah, 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 wah. Thank you, Mr. Ben, by the way. Part 4.
All right, let's go. Hold on a second. You don't seriously just think I'll walk straight into his trap and...
Sparkling, sparkling. Looking forward.
And where are we going? I'd like to find a place to set up camp. Oh no! Bushes!
Oh, come on. You're not afraid of this harmless little bush, are you?
I'm not so sure we should go there.
I like this part.
Don't worry, I'll protect you. Just follow me. I'm sure it's perfectly safe.
Cue the Pokemon random encounter music.
What the hell? How could a creature that big hide in such a tiny bush?
A wild Hydra appeared. Oh, and by the way, just as a random promo for everyone, Mr. Ben is running a Pokemon Let's Play. If you want to participate in it with him, feel free to message him. I don't know what his production is in terms of working on it right now. I'm thinking with this... Well, talk to him about it anyway. We will be continuing this on next week. How far, how much, don't know, but stick around. And finally, this is the good one. I love this one. This one is titled The New Crusaders, a comic by Annie Ritchie.
Congratulations on passing our final test. Y'all have done so much in so little time. Even braving the dreaded tree sap forest while ziplining. We apologize for drilling you too hard, yelling and calling you all sissy blank babies who need their mommies. It's nothing personal. Definitely not. Being blanks is not a bad thing, as we come to learn. It's a gift. Shake those flanks proudly. You have unlimited potential and your whole lives to discover who you are. We'd also like to make it official and welcome you three as honorary Cutie Mark Crusaders. Yay! Welcome, y'all. Welcome, new Crusaders. Congrats, you guys. Well, don't you have anything to say on this monumentous occasion? I have something to say about all this. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Now you can see why I like this comic so much. And I'm going to read the little epilogue in the in the description.
This is beyond words. I used to install fear into ponies, and now look at me. Lighten up, Luna. This is fun. I'm sure you'd be an expert on that by now. Do not sass me, sister. This is serious. We should be looking for Twilight Sparkle. She just flew off after we gave her our powers again to finally seal Tartarus's gate and left us powerless. She will pay for abandoning her duty. You talk too much. What? Lighten up, my sister. You're so cranky in the daylight. This is Twilight, my wonderful student. She's been responsible before with all our powers combined. I, for one, wouldn't mind having a little fun here and there. I already know what we can do next. It'll be fun. Fun? It is always fun with you, sister. And what do you have anything to say about this? I like the fabric. Good fabric. I'm surrounded.
Oh, Luna. I gotta go with your sister on this one. Lighten up. Alright. Well, we are ending on good time here. And that's the art, folks. So now, we got our video. Clashing Forces, Derpy and Carrot Top's Epic by Carbon Maestro. Ladies and gentlemen, Clashing Forces, Derpy and Carrot Top's Epic by Carbon Maestro. Alright, that is everything, folks. Content-wise, anyways. So, should we get on with the meat and potatoes?
Can you believe the new baby is finally here? Cupcake and Carrot Cake must be so proud. I wonder if it's a filly or a colt. I want to see the new baby pony. I want to see which one is it?
Meet our son, Pound Cake.
Aww.
And our daughter, Pumpkin Cake.
Huh? 2 new fools for me to play with? Oh, that's two times the fun. This is the greatest day ever. We need to celebrate your birthday, babies, because you were just born today. Woohoo!
Shh! The babies are trying to sleep.
But I was just...
Shh!
But...
Shh!
Happy birthday to you and you today.
Now, how in thunderation is one of them twins a Pegasus and the other one a unicorn?
Easy. My great-great-great-great-grandfather was a unicorn, and Cupcake's great-aunt's second cousin twice removed was a Pegasus. That makes sense, right?
Aw, yeah. Just you wait. Once little Pound Cake there gets his wings going, he'll be all over the place. And be careful around Pumpkin Cake. Baby unicorns get strange magic surges that come and go.
Quick! Make a wish and blow out your candles, which is easy, because there are 0 candles. You are 0 years old after all.
Shh!
My little pony, my little pony. My little pony. I used to wonder what friendship could be. Until you all shared its magic with me. Big adventure. Tons of fun. A beautiful heart, faithful and strong. Sharing kindness. It's an easy feat. And magic makes it all complete to have mine. Do you know you are my very best friends?
Happy month anniversary to you and you today. I can't believe you're already a month old. Time sure flies, isn't it? Wow, seems like only yesterday you were born. But now you're a month old today. Hey! I love! Are you ready for your favoriteest game in the whole wide world? Where's Pinkie Pie? Here I am! Where's Pinkie Pie? Here I am! Where's Pinkie Pie? Here I am! Here I am! Here I am! Here I am!
Everything okay in there? Who needs a diaper change?
Don't worry, they're fine. Oh, I mean,
Oh, I've got it. Is any pony hungry?
no thanks. I just had a big breakfast.
I'm on it.
You're making funny faces. I have one.
No, you see, Pinkie, the babies need to be burped.
All set now? Everything good? Okay, who wants to play again?
Pound Cake. No pounding
We don't chew on things, pumpkin cake.
Except food.
Great cinnamon sticks! I completely forgot!
No, you just fed him bottles, remember?
Not the baby's food!
The food for the enormously big catering order we have to deliver today.
Oh, with the new twins, we've been so distracted.
Quick, honey bun, we need to find a babysitter to watch the foals while we take care of this.
I can do it! I want to do it! Oh, the babies love playing with me. I'll do it!
I wonder who would be available on such short notice.
Me! Me! Pick me! Oh, I would love to babysit. But I can't today, sorry. I promised Angel we'd go on a picnic. You understand, don't you? You're not mad at me, are you? Please don't be mad at me! I'll do it! Pick me!
I have to finish this report for the princess, summarizing all my other reports to the princess.
I want to babysit! Pick me!
Babysit now? When there's a swarm of hungry caterpillars heading this way? I gotta get all these apples picked before they get swarmed on.
Ooh, I want to do it!
I got tickets to the Wonderbolts air show this afternoon. Got a dash.
Ask me! Me.
Moi? Babysit? Oh, no. I am flattered that you would think about me, though.
Pinkie Pie, how would you like to babysit for us?
I don't know. I'll have to check my schedule.
Now, Pinkie, are you sure you really understand the responsibility of watching over two babies?
I can be responsible. Why, responsibility is my middle name. Pinkie Responsibility Pie.
But this time you need to take care of them, not just play with them. You have to be responsible.
Yes, I know. I will. I am.
Oh, here you are, dearie. All of your responsibilities are on this list.
Whoa, that's a lot of Consider it done.
We'll frost it when we get there. Come on, Sugar Plum, tick, tick.
Take good care of our two precious little ginger snaps.
No problemo, Mr. and Mrs. Cake. Everything is under control. Uh-oh. Oh, don't cry, little friends. Look! Where's Pinkie Pie? Where's Pinkie Pie? Oh, no. I'm right here, see? Think. Hey, guys, watch this. Hey, you're a wonderful crowd here tonight. Where y'all from? Wow, that's great. You know, I used to have an ant farm, but I had to get rid of it because I couldn't find tractors that small. Get it? Tractors that small? The other day, I spilled spot remover on my dog, and now I can't find him!
Tough crowd. Tell me about it.
Fine. I wasn't gonna pull out the showstopper, but you're a lovely audience, and I think you deserve it! First you jiggle your tail, oink, 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 then you wriggle your snout, oink, 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 then you wriggle your rump, oink, 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 then shout it out, oink, oink, oink. First you jiggle your tail, oink, 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 then you wriggle your snout, oink, 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 then you wriggle your rump, oink, 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 then shout it out, oink, oink, oink. First you jiggle your tail, oink, 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 then you wriggle your snout, oink, 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 then you wriggle your rump, oink, 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 then shout it out, oink, oink, oink.
babysitting business.
Snack time. That's easy enough. Okie dokie. Eat up. Like this. Nom nom nom. Nom 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 nom. No pumpkin cake. We eat food, not tablecloths. Hey guys, look at me! Achoo! Yeah, I think I can see where this is going. Towels are not food, pumpkin cake. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Ooh, look, guys, bubbles. Don't cry. Look, floaty things. Ooh, Don't make me do it, guys. You know what happens when you mix flour and water, don't you? Smells like somebody needs me to change you either diaper wiper right now. Wow. Easy. Easy. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, thank goodness they're home.
Hi. I finished up the work I had to do, so I thought I'd stop by and see if you needed any help.
Wow! Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. I can't begin to tell you what my day has been like. I mean, these babies just won't listen to reason. And don't even get me started on their taste in stand-up comedy.
It's okay, Pinky. I figured you would need some help. That's why I stopped by.
Excuse me?
Babies take a lot of work, and some ponies are just not cut out to handle the responsibility.
Is that so? Well, thanks for stopping by, Twilight. Sorry, I don't have time to visit. I'm very, very busy with my responsibilities here.
I'm happy to help. It's no trouble.
Well, of all the... She thinks I can't handle things on my own. Maybe because I haven't handled things on my own. Well, I can handle things on my own. Pancake, Sleep tight. Now that's what I call handling things.
Oh, no, 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 no. Not good, not good, not good. Pound, Pumpkin, where are you? Now come out wherever you are. Whoa! You be a good little girl now, Pumpkin Wumpkin, and stay in your crib for your pal, Pinky Winky. Pound cake? Here, pound cake! Pound cake? You can fly? Get down here this instant, young. I'm responsible for you. Yum, yum, yum. No, 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 Pumpkin. Yum, yum. No, no. Yum, no. I am the responsible one, and I said no. That goes for you too, Pound Cake. Gotcha! I think. Razzleberry. I'm not letting go. I'm There! Now who's the responsible one? You know, you're right. That is funny. Dear Princess Celestia, I've
always had fun playing with little kids, and I thought babysitting meant just more playtime, right? Wrong! Being a caregiver is way more responsibility than just being a playmate. And today I learned that sometimes our desire for responsibility can outrun our actual ability to handle it.
Pinkie Pie, we're back!
How did everything go?
Are we in the right place? Shh!
Pinkie, this is just
Amazing is what it is. We had no idea how responsible you really are. Would you be interested in becoming our go-to babysitter on a permanent basis?
Let me check my schedule. I should be available a week from... never! Pinkie Pie. I have some free time next Tuesday.
Ladies and gentlemen, baby cakes. So while I get things set up, of course, the old usual. What do you guys think? I guess you saw them. Yeah, I went, before you ask, went to MLP MSP that in the first week of June here. Check it out. Sit here on my desk and keep me company while I compute and stuff. But my trivial details aside, I like this episode myself. I really do. This is like, I want to say top 10 of season 2 for me. Okay, Tim, I do want to call you out on that, but only on the sense of elaborate, you vile fiend. The misjudging film episodes based on morals bit. If it applies to this episode. Nice thing about reviewing this one is we can pretty much just go straight in order, and I like that. Yes, I like it when the episode presents itself such that I can just go, all right, what'd you think of this bit? And then, what'd you think of the sequential bit? And then the bit after that, and the bit after that. Sometimes they just do it for the lulz, right, Mr. Ben? I have to agree. We'll address that when we get there, but yeah, I have to agree. I have something to say about that ending, but like I said, let's backtrack a little bit further, folks. Let's talk about the introduction, just the first scene at the hospital. Is there anything you guys have to say about that? To me, that genetics establishment, first of all, I count that as solid. I realize the presentation might be a bit weird, but I take it as genetics are canon. End of story. And to me, I like that. Why? It's one thing to, first of all, it's one thing to imply it. Second, it's another thing to, I hope I said that right. It's one thing to imply it, but it's another thing to actually establish it, which is what this intro just did. It established genetics. Second, well, it explains pony reproduction and all, which I'm not going to go there any further than that, but let that be something to note. That being said, I actually kind of like that because it treats our audience like adults. Some of them, well, most of the target audience anyway, might not understand it, and that's fine. They don't have to. But from our standpoint, why not? Why should we not use genetics? I don't think it was a gag. I still don't pass it as a gag. In the sense of explaining away genetics. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and that makes sense, right? Bit is what I'm referring to. That no, I don't buy the idea of them cheating. I know everyone wants to, and yeah, a lot of comics and jokes were made about it at the when this show was or when this episode finished, and that's fine. Us as the artists can go there. Yeah, an adult joke, a joke only the parents and adults like us would get, and that's fine. But I still say it established genetics, and I'm happy with that. Moving on. Something else I want to note, though, from this introduction, and it kind of ties into the next scene a little bit, the first couple minutes of it. Something that I like about this introduction, the fact that we see the twins on the day they were born, or we see them in the hospital anyway. To me, I like this from a storytelling standpoint, from a technical, structured standpoint. The reason I like this so much is because they could have just dropped those kids in Sugar Cube Corner on us, the audience, and then we would have been forced to work with it. And if the rest of the episode had gone on, that might be fine. But the reason I really like the fact that they went with the hospital route at first, it feels a lot more organic. It feels more, I don't want to say real, but I'll say natural. That's the word. It feels more natural. It feels we might not have gotten anything beforehand, like Cupcake was pregnant. But we didn't need to. That being said, starting off in the hospital and then bringing the foals home brings a more natural, organic feel to their establishment. The foals, not only the foals, but just the fact that they exist. And to me, that's smart storytelling. Very good job on the show staff's behalf. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, pretty much right there, Rain Shadow, what you just said. They could have retconned it. Quote, I'll use a sillier voice. Oh, by the way, they have kids and Piggy wants to take care of them for some reason. That's exactly how it could have gone, but they chose the much smarter route. I totally agree with you on that. Okay. Do you guys have anything to say after the introduction? There's going to be a little bit more beyond that, but just while they're in Sugar Cube Corner, do you have anything to say about that? You probably don't, but I'll leave the question open. Dead on, Twilight is Magic. Dead on. Matt, yeah, it is Charlotte Fullerton. Twilight is Magic. What do you mean, though, Matt the Shadow Man? We see more of how their business works. I'm curious. How does that work? We see more of their personal life, but not more of their business. So I am a bit curious. I think they're meaning a catering service, that they will cater. But I'll let him write his piece. Got it in one. I never thought about that, but yeah, that's a good point, Matt the Shadow Man. That's a really good point. Next season on Cake Boss, Mr. and Mrs. Cake. Let's move on to that montage. Yeah, I guess it is a montage of them looking around for a babysitter. What do you guys have to say about that? I actually do have a couple things I want to say about that, but of course, you guys first. We're gonna need a montage. Montage! Oh, we're gonna need a montage. That was going to be my point there, Rain Shadow, and I'll actually lead into that. Yeah, I'll just blurt this bit out here. The great thing about this little montage, or whatever you want to call it, we have, up until now, we have not really seen much of a mature streak on Pinkie Pie's behalf. Think about it. We've got Party of One. She's overreacting to something on really shaky evidence of, what's the word I'm looking for? On a misconception. Let's see. We've also seen her. What else have we seen her do? Well, you get the idea. I'm not going to waste your guys' time. So it's no wonder that the Cakes don't believe her mature enough to handle it. Something I do want to bring up, guys, this is just one of those little things that irritates me to no end, and this is more on the audience's behalf. The scene with Rarity and the Cakes, her just saying no, I've always wanted to ask this to people. In this case, it's going to be a rhetorical question. Does Rarity really need a reason? Does she even need to explain herself to the Cakes? Does she need some excuse, like, I'm going to a big fashion show in Manhattan today? And another way of looking at it is, does she answer to the Cakes? I thought so. Technically, all of them have a selfish reason, Twilight is Magic. I mean, AJ values her farm over the Cakes' kids. Twilight values her letter writing over the Cakes' kids. And I could go on. But again, I'm just pointing out a technicality here. But my point is I just don't like it when people chastise Rarity the way they do, because again, all she has to do is just say no. That's good enough. All right. Wow. Really don't have much in my notes about any of the next scenes coming up, but there's a reason for that. I'd call it selfish, but then again, I'm not exactly what you would call normal Rain Shadow. So let's move on from me alienating everyone and everyone running off because, well, that means they'd be associating with someone like me. And move on to, so Pinkie Pie is now the only option the Cakes have left. Which is nice that they actually went through and showed us, didn't tell us that they were the only ones. What do you guys have to say about some of the scenes with Pinkie Pie trying to take care of the kids? Or foals in this case, if you want to get really technical. We're here. Don't worry, J.E. Smith. Yeah, no kidding. Twilight is Magic. Yeah, definitely. That's a good way of putting it. A classic babysitter comedy. That's actually a really good way of putting it. Which, of course, only means one thing by your second line there, Twilight is magic. I'll get into some of these scenes a little bit later when we get to the full episode review, because there's actually a point concerning the whole thing that I'm saving for that, but I'll get there when I get there. What I will say about this, though, is obviously these are just scenes designed to say, yeah, things are not going well. As much as Pinky is trying to give a responsible and to be responsible and do her duty, it's going about as well as a, well, it ain't going well. That's an interesting point, Rain Shadow. She tried very Pinky things first, like stand-up comedy. And then you can kind of see her move towards more general things, or more, I'll say logical for lack of better terms. Like actually trying to feed them, and again, albeit very Pinky-ish and poorly. But that's an interesting point. I like that. I think we can kind of move on to the scene with Twilight, but I'll let you guys finish up. It looks like you got a conversation going here. Which to me really shows a lot of her character there, Twilight is magic. You can probably count this as it's ponies, or it's a show for kids, or something like that. Something that I always love about this show is the fact that the characters are very... What's the word I'm looking for here? I'll say responsible, but maybe more proud. Proud of their work. We don't really ever see our protagonists, anyway, slack off. We never really see them abandon their posts often. Things like this episode, we see them give an honest effort, but usually they just... their efforts are just incorrect. I think that does say a lot about them. If even in error they're willing to... even in error, they are still willing to try and give the honest effort. That's actually a really good message to everyone. Everyone, sincerely. Okay, yeah, we'll move on to the Twilight scene now, but I'm seeing you guys kind of got ahead of me, and I baited you there, so that was my bad. But yeah, go ahead, I'll listen. Okay, I'll say my bit here. The scene with Twilight, to me, the reason I love that scene so much, just that few minutes of what we get, and you're spot on when you guys say your pride, but hear me out for a minute here. You guys remember way back when we did Party of One, and I said there's a scene in a future episode that really exposes Pinky's pride? This is the scene I was talking about, people. Yes, this is just 2 minutes or so. And to me, this scene exposes more of Pinkie Pie than most of the show has at this point. Up until this point, as much as we have seen Pride issues, out of Pinky specifically, I would say that this one is perhaps the most obvious and most... What's the word I'm looking for? I want to say egregious, but maybe that's not it. Maybe obvious is just enough. And the point is that little scene right there opened the entire floodgate of that which is Pinky's pride. This little scene showed just how proud a character she really is, in perhaps the most stunning and obvious way. If you didn't buy it by now, here's your scene, is what I'm saying. This was something that would eventually translate to later episodes. Case in point, the very next one. Or, of course, people are going to say Pinky Pride, the Season 4 episode. Absolutely, absolutely. There's perfect example. Perfect examples right there. That's why I love that scene so much. Regardless if she's baited or not, is Twilight not pointing out something not only obvious, but necessary? That's kind of like telling a friend whose pants are too big, your pants are too big, and they're falling off. Yeah, it might not be the most pleasant thing to hear, but it's true. And you're just trying to help. And yeah, Twilight is Magic pointing out right there. She was, while insensitive, she wasn't meaning to be. Let's move on now. What do you guys have to say about the scenes after that? The darker horror movie inspired, that's the word. Horror movie inspired scenes of the third act. Adult fear, how appropriate you use those words, Twilight is Magic, because I'm going to be segueing into that right now. Actually, go on, because you're taking the words right out of my mouth. I concur, everyone who's saying what they're saying there. This is one of those things where I love this show. When I first saw this scene, I too enjoyed that dark turn because it fell under just that. It's like, well, I came out of nowhere. Keep it up. That's actually a fair point, man. I think, yeah, Rain Shadow somewhat said it. I wouldn't be shocked if in some ways it was picked for one of two reasons. to flow with this narrative, that is, we've already gone down this dark tone, so now we need the release, or probably more accurately, time. Who knows? Anyone? I don't. We'd have to ask Charlotte and or the rest of the show staff to work on that. Interesting little dialogue going on here in the chat, so I'm just kind of sitting back and watching the show. I'll interject if I need to. And it's not like this wasn't established, Matt the Shadow Man. It's not like this came out of nowhere. They established it right in the very first, the cold intro. Funitron particles. It's not like it hasn't been shown before. Concerning as an add-on to Twilight is Magic's point. Heck, look at Twilight herself. Remember way back when I was mentioning things like we've seen her progress magically through in terms of her studies throughout this entire series. Remember the Ticketmaster? Warn me next time when you're going to do that. I didn't know my magic would do that. And hell, think of it this way, Matt the Shadow Man, in concern to your point. That's like saying you're to put leg braces on your kid who's trying to walk because you don't want them running around and causing any more ruckus. Flies like a demon. And hell, you can look at it from a physical standpoint, Twilight is Magic. Does Pound Cake not have a lighter, smaller body that his wings could actually support something like that versus Scootaloo, who's a little older, a little bigger, whose wings can't support her? True, but you get my point, Twilight is Magic. But you were talking about physical restraints, not barriers, Matt the Shadow Man. But not fly. Yep, Rain Shadow hit it right there. Heck, I wouldn't put it past it, the idea of, especially the unicorn magic bit, the more they use it, the more control they gain of it. And the more control they gain of it, the less of those surges they get, which kind of like getting the chicken pox and kind of like that. Let it run its course and it'll eventually calm down. I'll address that right now since we're on the subject. Bear in mind that bulk biceps, Mr. Ben, in seasons 2 and 3, he was a background sight gag. And I'll say this again when we get there. But in season 4, they actually give him a legitimate characterization, so that's why that is. Yeah, something like that, Matt. Something, yeah, like antibodies. Kind of like that. If they just let the unicorn in particular run its course, all those magic surges will eventually quiet down. No, he didn't, but we never really see it. It's implied, but we'll get there when we get there. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. All right, I do want to talk about the very ending with Pinky crying. What do you guys have to say about that? I know we already touched on this, but I want to bring it up again. Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one, Twilight is Magic. Right there, Rain Shadow. Good one. Mr. Ben. Y'all are hitting my point right there. Why I don't call this a cop-out, I personally don't, is because I like to use a real-life analogy. And I think you guys hit that. I'm certain of it. You guys did. It's a real-life analogy. Ask any parent, especially a new parent, what parenting is like, and they're going to tell you it's tough. I'm not going to disagree with that if what I've seen from people I know, and shoot, even some of my own personal experiences with older kids, like the 7 to 10-year-old range. Just looking after them, I can tell you from experience, it's a mixed bag. You sometimes get good kids who make your day a lot easier, and sometimes you get some annoying little turds whom you just want to throw out of the warming house, and if you have to, bring them back to their parents in a bag and... Sorry. You do get some who just make your day pretty darn rotten. That being said, I think this is kind of one of those another adult jokes kind of thing. But not much of a joke in so much as it's talking to the adults themselves. We've got Pinky reaching the breaking point of what she can take in terms of trying to care for them and how much of a tolerance of pain that she can take, for lack of a better terms here. They finally break it, and, well, she breaks down. Ask any parent if they've ever at some point wanted to just cry their eyes out because it's too stressful. I'd bet you there isn't a parent in the world who wouldn't say that. I never thought about it that way, Twilight is Magic. It was a reaction they were familiar with. I can certainly see... I'll say this. Wait, no. I can maybe see why people would think it's a cop-out, but as I said, I just don't agree with it. No kidding, Mr. Ben. Huh. Maybe it's just because the kid's getting, the sound is getting drowned out, but all joking aside, that's an interesting point. Yeah, it's anecdotal evidence, but I'm going to take it as there's a real scientific, logical reason behind it, and I'm curious. I wonder. Now, I'm really reaching here, so bear with me, folks, but Mr. Ben, what you said, I wonder if one of the staff members hasn't actually had an experience with that before. If, at least one of them, they either knew that from a scientific standpoint or just from an experience standpoint, and they used that. Something that, of course, they and the parents of the kids who watch this would understand, but something we might not. Interesting. Since I don't think anyone here has kids. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, again, that's a really interesting point. I like that. Yeah, babies, kids, however you want to put it. I suppose that helps, Crazy Rabbit Pony. Rain Shadow, I like that. Why would you go that when there's a good bottle of whiskey to use? Jeez. Okay, now we're talking. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, let's get back on topic, guys. Even if this is a good one. So overall, what do you have to say about the episode? I'm interested in that Matt the Shadow Man because I'm. Okay, yeah, I'm interested. I concur, Mr. Ben. What makes this episode stand out to me in terms of a better quality episode from the rest of season 2, like I said earlier, this is probably top 10 material for me. Maybe. We'll see when we get there, of course. But what I love so much about this episode is that it sets the bar exactly where it needs to be. This isn't, I need to deliver a cake to somewhere, which I know we get to, but work with me here for a minute. This isn't, I need to go to work today, or I have a big project in school due. This is, I need to watch my, I guess for lack of a better term, adult caregivers own kids. You don't screw around with that. Nobody wants, how do I put this? Failure is not an option here. There is no failure when it comes to watching someone else's children. Or in this case, foals, if you want to get technical again. that is not only reasonable, but it's relatable. You could even go with the target audience here. They might have watched maybe like a young nephew or a younger cousin. Nephew, yeah, right. They might have watched a younger cousin or someone maybe at some point in their life by then, with some adult supervision, mind you, but work with me here for a minute. So they do at least have some idea of what caregiving and babysitting is all about. Take that, and we could go to the adults and the older audience members like us who might either have kids or have had watched kids before. Everyone who has ever babysat a kid or watched over younger kids in real life here knows the responsibility that comes with it. It's not fun, it's not pretty, but someone's got to do it, if at the very least. This sets the episode's bar exactly where it needs to be. Pinkie Pie is aware of the responsibility. Somewhat. So when we get to her actually having to babysit it, the rubber meets the road. And we can sympathize with why it's so difficult for her. Actually, that's all I was going to say, is we can sympathize with how difficult it is for her. One of the things that I do like about this episode as well is the fact that I like that it expands the Cakes family. Yes, I'm aware that the Cake twins are nothing more than plot devices. Yes, I'm aware that they're not going to get much development, if at all, most likely anyway. Yes, I'm aware that these are for secondary characters, the Cakes. I don't care. I like that this show, for whatever reason, takes even secondary characters and expands upon them this way. There are a couple scenes coming up, one in particular, that I think really nicely highlights this kind of stuff. But for now, just the fact that we see something out of someone other than the main six is actually kind of nice. And the fact that we see a family grow is just as great, if not better. I also want to mention from my notes here, quote, "The Cake babies represent real-life babies quite well. They're destructive, loud, royal pain in the butt, and yet at the end of it all, we find reasons why we put up with their antics." Tell me I'm wrong, especially if there are any parents in the audience. My only real complaint with this episode is in the when Pinkie Pie points out to the Cakes they aren't hungry for any food or anything, and they start panicking. You know, shoot, we forgot the big party that we need to attend to. My only real complaint with it is the fact that they don't name it, and I wish they would have, because I wouldn't have this complaint otherwise. What I hate about it is the fact that it's shoot, we forgot that thing. Yeah, that's right. What is it? I know it's not the detail I'm after. It's just the fact that it feels haphazardly inserted. It feels too much like a plot narrative and not something organic. It's a very minor complaint, but it's just something I want to bring up. And why do I mean this? Well, let me back up. Shoot, we forgot that party in Canterlot, or we forgot Diamond Tiara's birthday party, or we forgot so-and-so's birthday party. Again, minor complaint, but I'll name it anyway. And think of it as a zit on a giant. You're not going to notice it, but pretty much right there, Mr. Ben, as if they exactly said that. We forgot the plot device. Oh no, not the MacGuffin. We forgot the MacGuffin, not the MacGuffin. Yes, I like that term, MacGuffin. I don't care what anyone says. Later, J.E. Smith. Would have been an interesting tie-in, Rain Shadow. But the problem is timing, and I'll tell it to you. Would that have been so dire, though? It wouldn't have gotten the cakes out of the... It doesn't... what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't get the cakes out of the house. That's what I'm looking for. It does not physically get them out of the house. Overall, I love this episode. I already said it sets the bar where it needs to. I like the scene with Pinky or Twilight in it. I love the dark narrative that the third scene takes. I believe this, again, it's one of those, they don't talk down to our audience. That's a good thing. I put this one, again, probably somewhere in my top 10. Don't be surprised if when we get there I say that. Where? Don't know. We'll get there when we get there. And overall, that's all I have to say about the episode. Yeah, we're going a bit way over time here, but you guys have any final thoughts about the episode or anything else before we sign off here? Give you guys a minute to do that. I guess I never mentioned Pinky because I guess it was obvious, but yeah, I'd agree with that. Twilight is magic. Hold on, Matt the Shadow Man. I'll say that. Steam greater than corn, but you kind of have to. That's kind of an inside joke. All right, I think everyone here is kind of wrapping things up here. Next week, do you guys remember how after season 3 ended, we did our quick little first run through what we thought of the episodes? Just we said like, what'd you think of, name one topic of Wonderbolt Academy, and then name one point on. Name another point on Apple Family Reunion. Well, we're going to be doing that for the first half of season 4 next week. I like what we did. I like when we did that in when we did that for season 3. So I wanted to do that for season 4 as well. Yeah, I realize that at this point, season 4's been done for a little over a month and a half, but I don't care. I think we can get some good stuff out of it. So, it'll be the first half of season 4 next week, and then the following week we'll do we'll clean up, get anything that we didn't catch last week. So, from all of us here, we want to thank you for stopping by, and of course, finally back up after 4 months. Hope you like what you saw. Hope to see you again next week. I already said what we're doing next week. Until then, farewell.